And welcome back to Real Talk Sports with Rico. Today we're talking about the NBA Summer League, and we're talking about day one of the NBA Summer League out in Las Vegas. If you are following, it is going to be Bronny James's debut going against, I believe, the Rockets tonight. So we're going to go ahead and throw up some scores for today and really just talk about some of the storylines that have taken place thus far in this Summer League thus far, guys. And so just taking a look here at some of these rookie performances. Let's start off with game one, the Cavs versus the Magic. And I must say, I was impressed with the rookies that played in this particular game. When we look at the box score, especially, one of the guys that I had scouted was going to be Tristan Da Silva, and I think that he played outstanding out of Colorado. Wish the Chicago Bulls would have probably gotten back into the first round to get this guy, but he showed us that he reminds me a lot of Jaime Jaquez that plays for the Miami Heat and that played for UCLA last year. Got a chance to look at him in the Drew League and UCLA. And I thought that the way that Tristan Da Silva was able to come out, not dominate the basketball, but be plus 31 in the box score, guys. And when you go back and look at the tape, 3 of 5 from downtown, 3 of 6 from the field. But look at the all around numbers for him: 5 rebounds, 4 assists. He got a steal, just winning plays all over the place. And I love the fact that he was able to really kind of put a dominance on the game and not have to dribble the basketball. Like, he didn't have to have the ball in his hands. The way he was able to show his IQ, slide off of a backside help and things like that. Like, I loved everything that Tristan Da Silva showed defensively. A lot of people had a question mark about him being a seatbelt out there, and he showed me that he can absolutely strap up. So I definitely loved watching Tristan Da Silva today. And I think another guy that I'm looking forward to looking at here on the Magic's roster is got to be Anthony Black. And I think that he played particularly well. He's a point guard that came out of Arkansas last year. I was extremely high on this guy. 6'7". He was 6 of 9 from the field, 20 points, 7 of 9 from the free throw line. So he has a good free throw percentage here, but plus 36 here. And this is kind of a little bit redundant because the Orlando Magic just came out and played better as a team. Jet Howard, right, showing that he could do more than just knock down the three ball. I think one of the things about him was his rebounding efforts. Still not a whole bunch of rebounds for him today, but he did shoot the ball particularly well. He went to the cup as well. So I do like that about Jet Howard. So I think that he played extremely well. On the other side of this thing, looking at the Cavs, I think it starts with Tyson here. I think that, he was terrific for the Cavs, a rookie coming out, 15 points in his debut, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, really finished in contact as well. So I like him now being in that small forward position. I could definitely see him, pushing into, what Max Strauss does, or Max Strus couldn't get that out. Max Strus, what he does. And then also too, depending on what they're going to do with Okora, then I think that there's a possibility that, Tyson is going to be a guy that you're going to want to take a look at for the Cleveland Cavaliers. But another guy that I think a lot of people were looking to see is DJ Burns, talented small forward / center that played for North Carolina State last year. They had a run, and he had 4 points, 2 of 4 from the field. But I think he showed that, he's a lot more mobile than what most people thought, and he's a lot more of a crafty scorer, right? So he kind of reminds me a little bit of what Zach Randolph was back in the day. So those are a couple people that I think kind of stood out in this particular game. Next up, the Timberwolves and the Pelicans in this one. And so immediately, the one player that I circled in this one was Terrence Shannon Jr., another guy that I think a lot of people were pretty high on going into the draft, and he slipped a little bit. Had a chance to look at some of his highlight tapes and things like that. Played for the University of Illinois, but talented. I believe he's left-handed as well. 25 points today, 9 of 14, 6 of 8 from the free throw line. But he really displayed exactly what he can do in the open court. And I think that the Timberwolves definitely got richer with getting him over there. I think that on the flip side of this, you see that Rob Dillingham struggled a bit. I think he's going to find himself a little bit more. Think of him more as going to be like a Jamal Crawford type of player, but he struggled tonight, 2 of 12. But Terrence Shannon Jr. really showed me a lot. On the other side of this thing, looking at the Pelicans, really what really I think jumped out to me was Jordan Hawkins. I said in last year's draft class that Jordan Hawkins might have one of the best jump shots that I've seen in quite some time. Reminds me a lot of Ray Allen, and go figure, he played for UConn and their championship team. But I love what Jordan Hawkins brings to the game, and I think that there is a real chance that he is going to see some more time for the Pelicans, especially if they do decide to move on from Brandon Ingram. So that is one of the things that I'm looking at with the Pelicans here. But again, I like what Minnesota showed, like what Terrence Shannon Jr. did. And I think also, too, what you get a chance to look at with the Summer League is you get a chance to see, what type of offensive systems that these teams are trying to implement in the Summer League and then take that up to the big league. All right. So next up, guys, we have the Kings and Grizzlies, which is going on right now. The Grizzlies all over the Kings. And the story around the Kings has to be, unfortunately, around Devin Carter, who is not playing. I think he got a shoulder surgery. I think it was a torn labrum or something like that, but hopefully he's able to get back for the start of the season, but he's not out there at this point in time. So, right now the Kings are struggling at this point in time. The turnovers are up in this particular contest. Just defensively, I think the Grizzlies have done a great job. You're seeing, if you're looking at the Grizzlies, Zach Edey has not played particularly well with the Grizzlies out in Utah. One of the guys that's not playing today that I'm looking forward to seeing is this guy right here under Zach Edey, and that is Drew Primber. I think that this guy is a guy that played for, I think, UNC Asheville. Had a chance to look at some of his tape. 6'10", 6'11". I really think that there's a path for him to play in the NBA. I know the Hornets initially had him, but it was reported that he had signed on here to play with the Grizzlies in their summer league program. But I think that there's a real opportunity for him to make this team. I think that the Grizzlies are looking for bigs. I would absolutely love to have him over in Chicago. So he's a guy that I'm definitely circling and I want to see play in this summer league at some point in time. Gigi Jackson II, showing exactly why the Grizzlies retained his services and why I think he's going to play a big role for the Grizzlies this upcoming season. He's got 15 points right now, 6 rebounds, plus 22 in the box score, shooting it pretty well from downtown, not necessarily effective from the field, but he's showing a bit of his dominance and showing that he can do a lot of different things. Cam Spencer, all right, 7 points right now, played for UConn. He's a guy that I wish the team kind of snuck in and got him in the second round. Plus 11 right now, makes winning plays, 3 assists, 3 rebounds. I think that there's an opportunity for him to make the club as well. I love a lot of what he brings, and I think that he's showing that he's bringing that winning mentality over to the Grizzlies. And so now that brings us to the last part of Summer League and what I am looking forward to really that's going to take place here in tonight's games. First and foremost, we're looking to see what is going to take place with the Lakers and the Rockets. Clearly, we're looking to see what Bronny James is going to present. I would say that in the time that I have saw Bronny James, I'm seeing that he's a little bit more of defensive ready right now than he is offense ready. And I think the offense will probably come along. You hope it progresses sooner than later, but I find it interesting that they talk about Bronny a lot more than they talk about Dalton Connect. And Dalton Connect, I looked at a couple of his games, and yes, he hadn't shot the ball particularly well, but there are some things that he has done on the offensive end that I'm very impressed with. The way he was able to get downhill in one play and kind of bully his way to an and one, I love that about him. I love the fact that he's able to knock down the 3-point shot as well. Like he's definitely showing that he's got a torch out there for sure. He can absolutely shoot the basketball. And I like the fact that he is willing to thread the needle and trust teammates as well. So I had him as a Wally Zerbiak type of player from back in the day. I think that that's his comp. And I just hope that the Lakers utilize him and Austin Reeves correctly, because I get a lot of that Austin Reeves vibe off of him as well, like as far as the swagger and the confidence. I think that you could probably argue that Austin Reeves is a better defender, right, than what Dalton Connect is right now. But off the ball, don't get it twisted. Like you're not just going to just randomly just keep scoring on Dalton Connect. It's not going to happen like that. He's a better off the ball defender than he is on the ball. So I'm curious to see what we see out of him tonight. And then do we see a little bit more scoring with with Bronny James? Like, are we going to see a little bit more of that, guys? Next up, I'm looking to see what's going to go on with the Hawks and Wizards. Obviously, we're seeing the number 1 and 2 picks in the draft. Obviously you want to see, did you get it right in those situations? And so I can remember going back and looking at Summer League play when I believe it was Ayton, and I think it was Marvin Bagley. Maybe those were the 2 top picks. So seeing them kind of go at each other back in the day, looking at Ben Simmons when he was the number 1 pick, you get a chance to see the number 1 and 2 picks go at each other. Last season, getting the chance to look at Wembanyama and Brandon Miller play each other, so you get a chance to really see what goes on there. And I know you can't put a whole bunch of stock into the first game played, because Wembanyama, that first game, it really wasn't that great. It was really underwhelming, but he showed there were some flashes. But after that, in game 2 is when he started to really take off. And I was like, okay, yeah, now we see why he was the number 1 pick in the draft. So, don't be alarmed if you see, in this first game, there's going to be a lot of jitters out there, guys, and guys are a little bit flat, maybe a little bit too emotional to start off, but really look for them to kind of settle in as Summer League kind of goes along. So we'll be talking about the Summer League a little bit more and some of the rookies to look forward to. Once again, I just want to thank the fans out there who have chimed in and listened to the show on a week-to-week basis. I want to thank the sponsors out there who have put sponsorship on the show as well. Make sure you go out there and you check this Summer League play out. Exciting time in sports. Look, we got camps getting ready to open up for the National Football League. We got the NBA taking off here. Obviously, the MLB is starting to get into its high point as they get ready for the home run derby and all the stuff like that, guys. So keep it locked in. Keep checking us out. Real Talk Sports with Rico. You can catch us on Spotify, YouTube. I'll see you guys on the next one. And you can also catch me on Bulls Digest if you want to hear me ramble on about the Bulls. All right, guys. Peace. I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace, 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 peace.